Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, money just seems to slip through your fingers? You start the month feeling optimistic, but by the end, you're left wondering, where did all my money go? If that sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not alone. Most people in their 20s and early 30s make financial mistakes that they don't even realize are setting them up for a lifetime of money struggles. The good news, you don't have to be one of them. Imagine for a second that you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to financial security, freedom, and the ability to live life on your terms. The other, a never-ending cycle of paycheck-to-paycheck stress, debt, and missed opportunities. Which path would you choose? The key to making the right choice starts with avoiding these three major financial mistakes. Let's break them down, one by one. Mistake number one, not tracking your money. The invisible leak in your wallet. Picture this, you just got paid. You're feeling good, so you decide to treat yourself. Maybe a nice dinner, a few online purchases, a couple of spontaneous nights out with friends. Then, a few weeks later, you check your bank account and boom, most of your money is gone. At first, you panic. Did someone hack my account? Nope. It was all you. This is what happens when you don't track your finances. Money doesn't just disappear. It's spent, little by little, on things you don't even remember buying. And without realizing it, you're left with nothing to save or invest. I learned this the hard way. When I got my first job, I thought making money was the hard part. But I was wrong. The hardest part was keeping it. It wasn't until I sat down and actually wrote out every dollar I spent that I realized how much money I was wasting. A few dollars here, a few dollars there, it added up fast. And that's why tracking your money is so important. It's not about being overly strict or never spending on fun things. It's about knowing exactly where your money is going, so you can make intentional choices. If you don't already track your spending, start now. You don't need a fancy app. Just a simple note on your phone or a journal will do. Once you see where your money is going, you'll naturally start spending more wisely. Try it for just 1 month, and I guarantee you'll be surprised by what you find. Mistake number two, falling into the credit card trap. The silent debt killer credit cards can feel like magic. You swipe, you get what you want, and the money doesn't leave your pocket. It's painless until the bill arrives. Many people think, oh, I'll just pay the minimum this month and catch up later. But here's the problem. Credit card debt is like quicksand. The more you ignore it, the deeper you sink. I once had a friend who made decent money, but every month he barely scraped by. Why? Because he was stuck in a cycle of paying off credit card interest instead of actually saving or investing. He had fallen into the classic trap, spending money he didn't have and paying for it with his future income. Banks love this. They want you to carry a balance because that's how they make money. But you don't have to play their game. If you already have credit card debt, make a plan to pay it off as soon as possible. Even if it means cutting back on some luxuries for a while, it's worth it. And if you don't have debt yet, be careful. Use credit cards only if you can pay them off in full each month. Otherwise, it's like borrowing money at one of the worst interest rates possible. Think of it this way. Would you take out a loan just to buy dinner or a new gadget? No. Then don't let your credit card trick you into doing exactly that. Mistake number three, relying on just one income. The biggest risk you're not thinking about. Most people think having a steady job means financial security. But let me ask you this. What would happen if you lost that job tomorrow? For many, the answer is terrifying. I once had a colleague who had worked at the same company for years. He was comfortable, had a stable paycheck, and never thought about needing extra income. Then, one day, his company went through layoffs, and just like that, his financial stability was gone overnight. Here's the reality. No job is 100% secure. If you only have one source of income, you're putting your entire financial future in someone else's hands. But here's the exciting part. Building extra income streams isn't as hard as you might think. It doesn't mean you have to start a full-on business. It could be something simple like freelancing, selling a skill online, or even monetizing a hobby. The key is to start now, while you still have the safety of your primary job. Think about something you enjoy doing. Can you teach it? Sell it? Offer it as a service? In today's digital world, there are endless opportunities. And once you have multiple streams of income, you'll never have to live in fear of losing a job again. Where do you go from here? So now you know, tracking your money, staying out of bad debt, and creating multiple income streams are 3 simple but powerful habits that can change your financial future. Here's what I want you to do. Pick just one of these mistakes and take action today. Maybe that means writing down your expenses for the first time, checking your credit card balance, or brainstorming a way to earn an extra $100 this month. Whatever it is, start now, because the sooner you do, the sooner you'll be on your way to financial freedom. And trust me, your future self will thank you. Ready for the next step? In the next section, we'll talk about the biggest spending mistakes people make, and how to make sure you're spending money in a way that actually improves your life. Stay with me, because this next part is going to open your eyes to some major money traps you never even saw coming. In the last section, we talked about how important it is to track your money, avoid bad debt, and build multiple income streams. If you've already started making small changes, congratulations. You're ahead of most people your age. But here's the thing, making money is only half the battle. The other half? Learning how to keep it. Have you ever gotten a raise or a bonus only to find yourself still struggling financially a few months later? It's not because you're not making enough. It's because of how you're spending what you have. Let's talk about 3 major spending mistakes that silently drain your wealth and, more importantly, how you can avoid them. Mistake number 1. Spending to impress. The hidden trap of lifestyle inflation. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want nice things? A sleek car, designer clothes, the latest phone. It all feels great. And if you can afford it comfortably, there's nothing wrong with enjoying life. But here's where most people go wrong. They start making more money, and instead of saving or investing it, they upgrade their lifestyle to match their new income. And suddenly, that pay raise, it disappears into car payments, luxury vacations, and expensive nights out. I once knew a guy who got his first big job at a top company. The first thing he did? Bought a brand new BMW. At first, he felt like a king, driving around in his dream car, showing it off to friends. But a few months in, reality hit. The insurance was expensive, the loan payments were crushing, and every time he took it in for maintenance, it cost a fortune. That car, instead of being a symbol of success, became his biggest financial burden. This is called lifestyle inflation, when your expenses increase as fast as your income. It's a trap that keeps even high earners struggling financially. So, How do you avoid it? Simple. Every time you get a raise, act like you didn't. Instead of spending more, use that extra money to invest or save. If you want something expensive, don't buy it just because you can. Buy it because it adds real value to your life. Remember, true wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about being rich. Mistake number 2. The little expenses that add up, and how to cut them without feeling miserable. Have you ever looked at your bank statement at the end of the month and thought, wait, how did I spend this much? It's not always the big purchases that drain your wallet. It's the small, everyday expenses that sneak up on you. Take coffee, for example. Let's say you buy a $5 coffee every morning on your way to work. It seems like nothing, right? But over a year, that's over $1,800. And that's just coffee. Add in the spontaneous online shopping, the weekly takeout, the drinks with friends, and suddenly, you're spending thousands on things you don't even remember buying. Now, I'm not saying you should give up all your little pleasures and live like a monk. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But what if you could cut back just a little and still be just as happy? Try this. Pick one small expense you could reduce without feeling deprived. Maybe it's making coffee at home a few days a week or eating out one less time per month. You'll be shocked at how much you can save with tiny changes. Here's the fun part. Every dollar you don't spend on unnecessary things is a dollar you can invest in your future. And once you see how powerful that feels, you'll never look at spending the same way again. Mistake number 3. The cost of love. How dating can destroy your finances, if you're not careful. Let's talk about something no one warns you about. The cost of dating. When you're in your 20s, love and relationships can be expensive. Fancy dinners, weekend getaways, surprise gifts, all of these things add up. And if you're trying to impress someone, it's easy to overspend without even realizing it. I've seen it happen so many times, especially with guys. They go all out, trying to show their partner a good life. They take on extra shifts, max out their credit cards, and live beyond their means, all in the name of love. But here's the harsh truth. If someone only values you for how much you can spend on them, that's not love. Real relationships aren't built on expensive dates. They're built on shared goals, experiences, and values. And if you're serious about financial freedom, you want to be with someone who respects that. If you're in a relationship, have an honest conversation about money. Set a budget for dates. Find fun, low-cost ways to spend time together. And if you're single, focus on building your future first. Trust me, the right person will appreciate your financial discipline way more than a fancy dinner. Where do you go from here? By now, you're starting to see how financial success isn't just about making more money. It's about spending smarter. So here's what I want you to do. Take a moment and think about your own spending habits. Are you spending money to impress others? Are small expenses quietly draining your bank account? Are you overspending on dating or social activities? Pick one of these mistakes and commit to fixing it this month. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just one small step in the right direction can make all the difference. In the next section, we'll talk about something even more exciting: investing. Because once you've got your spending under control, the real fun begins. Making your money work for you. And trust me, this is where true financial freedom starts. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn can completely change your future. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people. You now know how to track your money, avoid bad debt, and spend wisely. But here's the real game changer: learning how to make money without constantly working for it. Because let's be honest, no one dreams of working 40+ hours a week forever. The real goal isn't just to earn more. It's to buy back your time, to reach a point where your money is working harder than you are. But most people never get there. And it's not because they don't want to. It's because they make these 3 massive mistakes when it comes to investing. Let's make sure you don't fall into the same traps. Mistake number 1: waiting too long to start investing. The hidden cost of doing nothing. A lot of people think, I'll start investing when I make more money, or I'll wait until I understand everything before I start. That sounds logical, right? Wrong. Let me tell you something that might shock you. Waiting is the most expensive financial mistake you can make. Imagine 2 people, Alex and Sam. Alex starts investing at 22. He puts away just $200 a month into an investment account, earning 8% annually. After 10 years at 32, he stops adding money, but he leaves his investment alone to grow. Sam, on the other hand, spends his 20s waiting for the right time. At 32, he realizes he should start investing. So, he begins putting in the same $200 a month. But this time, he keeps investing until he's 60. Who do you think ends up with more money? Surprisingly, even though Alex only invested for 10 years, and Sam invested for nearly 30, Alex will still have more money by the time they're 60. Why? Because of compound interest, where your money earns money, and that earned money also earns money, snowballing over time. The lesson here? Start now, even if it's small. Don't wait for the perfect time. Even if you can only invest $50 or $100 a month, just start. Your future self will thank you. Mistake number 2: not having money to invest. The opportunity cost of living paycheck to paycheck. Have you ever come across a golden opportunity? A business idea? A stock market dip? A friend selling a property for cheap? But you had no money to take advantage of it. That's one of the worst feelings ever. I know people who've missed out on life-changing investments simply because they didn't have the cash when the right moment came. And the truth is, opportunities don't wait for you to be ready. This is why saving money to invest is crucial. It's not just about having a cushion. It's about being ready when the right opportunity knocks. So how do you build up investment money? Easy. Go back to what we discussed in Part 1 and Part 2. Track your spending so you stop wasting money. Avoid bad debt so you're not paying interest to banks instead of yourself. Diversify your income so you have extra cash flow coming in. Once you start doing those things, you'll be surprised at how quickly you can build an investment fund. It doesn't have to be massive. Even a few $1,000s can open doors to incredible opportunities. Mistake number 3: thinking investment is just about stocks, the most overlooked investment of all. Most people think investing means buying stocks, real estate, or crypto. And yes, those are great ways to build wealth, but they're not the most important investment you'll ever make. That investment, yourself. If you want to get ahead financially, the smartest thing you can do is invest in your skills, knowledge, and mindset. Because unlike money, no one can ever take that away from you. Let me give you an example. I once hesitated to spend $500 on an online course about investing. It seemed expensive, but that course taught me things that completely changed how I handled money. And because of what I learned, I made thousands more in my investments later. That $500 turned into tens of thousands over time. This applies to everything. Learning a new skill could land you a higher-paying job. Reading books on investing could prevent you from making costly mistakes. Taking care of your health ensures you can enjoy your wealth later in life. So before you buy that next expensive gadget, ask yourself, what if I use this money to grow my skills instead? Because at the end of the day, your earning power is your biggest financial asset. Where do you go from here? Right now, you have everything you need to start your journey toward financial freedom. You've learned how to track your money, avoid spending traps, and now, how to invest wisely. The next step? Action. Pick one thing from this entire series and start today. Maybe that's opening your first investment account and putting in any amount, no matter how small. Setting aside a portion of your income specifically for future investments. Signing up for a course or reading a book to grow your financial knowledge. Whatever you do, just start now, because the sooner you do, the sooner your money starts working for you. And here's the best part. Once you see your money growing on its own, you'll never look at work and money the same way again. Your journey to financial freedom starts today. Let's make it happen.